You're welcome, by the way. I made you. I showed you infinity.
Just to be sure, this video contains spoilers. Although Rick Prime appeared to be killed off in Rick and Morty Season 7, Episode 5, there are a couple of possibilities for the character to have covertly survived this latest adventure. The death of its Rick Prime nemesis was built up by Rick and Morty, but when the big moment arrived, even veteran viewers were taken aback.
Can I offer my 2 cents? No! Morty, no!
Rick and Morty Season 7, Episode 5, Unmortrican disrupted Evil Morty's peaceful existence by attempting to track down Rick Prime, resulting in an adventure that culminated with Rick beating his foe to death when Evil Morty disarmed him. While the conclusion of Unmortrican leaves Rick and Morty Season 7 with fresh stories to pursue, some have legitimately pondered if this is the end of Rick Prime. Since the character was portrayed as Rick's longtime infatuation and biggest opponent, despite his hideously violent death scene, it seemed possible that the villain might make a comeback in some way. Rumors circulate about whether Rick Prime is truly gone, and, if not, how he would reemerge in the series.
You're welcome, by the way. I made you. I showed you infinity.
While there are a few possibilities for his resurrection, everything leads to Rick Prime's death being final. Rick Prime losing his backup suggests his death is permanent in Rick and Morty Season 7. Evil Morty destroyed all of Rick Prime's backups before allowing Rick C-137 to kill the villain, making it unlikely for Rick Prime's death to be retconned. While the majority of Rick and Morty Season 7 Episode 5's plot revolved around Evil Morty, and Rick collaborating to take down Rick Prime himself, after disarming him, Evil Morty went to work on his backups.
Why am I wearing an eye patch?
In true Evil Morty manner, he ignored Rick Prime's attempts to bargain and intimidate him. He meticulously removed any backups of the villain, but Rick and Morty could always point out that he overlooked one. While this twist is scientifically feasible, it does not match Rick and Morty's overall tone. Rick and Morty may be an anarchic, self-referential comedy where anything may happen, yet the show avoids cheap genre-writing cliches when possible. The reveal of a secret backup that neatly brings Rick Prime back to life would deflate Unmortist, since this twist would nullify Rick's numb reaction to his vengeance. Rick and Morty's saddest post-credits scene demonstrated that Rick's preoccupation with vengeance was futile, therefore showing that Rick Prime was still alive and would undermine this revelation. How Rick and Morty could still resurrect Rick Prime in future episodes. Rick Prime could return through a multitude of story mechanisms, but none of them would be ideal for the series. Additionally, a dark fan theory proposed by a Reddit member suggests another possibility. Because viewers did not see Rick deliver the fatal blow that ended Rick Prime's life, the program could always explain that Rick Prime defeated Rick C-137 off-screen, killed him, and subsequently assumed his position. This is a very cruel twist, but it has precedent in Rick and Morty, owing to Season 6, Episode 9, A Rick and King Morcher's Mort. In this episode, Rick treated Morty much better than usual, but in the next episode, it was revealed that he had been flawlessly replaced with a clone who was more understanding for that week's excursion. The narrative could leverage this precedent to reveal that Rick and Morty's hero is actually Rick Prime in disguise, although replicating the Rick Prime premise should be avoided. The fact that Rick Prime appeared in the first few episodes of Rick and Morty lends credibility to this idea, even though it may be too dark and depressing for the show to successfully execute. Why Rick Prime should stay dead after Rick and Morty Season 7 Episode 5. Ultimately, even though there are a few possibilities for the villain's reappearance, Rick Prime should remain dead. The question of whether the antagonist could return is less relevant than the question of whether he should return. Rick Prime's tale has come to a fitting conclusion, and the finish of Unmortrican indicates that his arc can go no farther. Rick Prime met his well-deserved demise. Rick C-137 finally received his long-awaited vengeance, and Evil Morty even managed to reach a shaky ceasefire with the heroes of Rick and Morty. As a result, even if it is technically conceivable via narrative contrivances, Rick and Morty Season 7 should not erase this plot.